I left a pamphlet back here. Let me tell you a little bit about what we're doing real quick. Back in 2010, I had the fortune of putting Willie Nelson in jail. You would not believe how many phone calls I got, how many death threats I thought, and what kind of evil person I was. But I had to do a job, and my job was, Texas is a zero-tolerance state. So when he come through Texas with marijuana, he lives in Texas. He's drove right through my community forever. I asked Willie, I said, Willie, what were you thinking? He said, Sheriff, if I'd have known it was in the bus, I'd have smoked it before we got there. With that, Willie and I became pretty good friends. I've been to his house a couple of times, been to his 4th of July picnic in Austin, Texas. And one of the things he asked me, he said, Sheriff, is there anything I can do to help your organization? And mind you, Willie is the definition of liberalism. Very, very liberal guy. I mean, he backed Beto O'Rourke when he was running for president. But I cornered him up and I told him, I said, Willie, I do a lot of things for the youth in my community. One of the things we do is a toy drive. Willie sent me $5,000 for every kid in my county from preschool to the 5th grade gets two gifts from my office, from the sheriff's office, from these toy drives. Well, we wanted to take that one step further. If you notice these little blue pamphlets out here, it's kind of twofold. One part of that is wounded responders. I've carved out right at 12,000 acres in West Texas, where when an officer gets hurt, injured in line of duty, he goes through his traumatic, and it's not just limited to officers, per se police officers. First responders, firefighters, EMTs, correctional officers, when they go through a traumatic experience, they go through their healing process. And during that healing process, their wife and children, her husband and children go through that healing process as well. So we've carved out 12,000 acres to reach out to these officers, to your officers throughout this country, to bring them out here, to take them out there and let them kick back and relax with their families. They can sit back, they can fish, they can hunt, they can ride horses, they can ride four-wheelers, ATVs, whatever they want to do, but I want the families to be able to kick back, relax, and connect with each other. That's one part of it. The other part of it is we got the brainstorm to reach out to 12 kids in Houston, Texas. We're going to take these 12 kids, and for 2 weeks, the first week, they're going to take a hunter safety course. Now, these are inner city kids from Houston, Texas. Along with the Texas Parks and Wildlife, we're going to put them through a hunter safety course. And then we're going to go make them go hunt a varmint, whether it be a rabbit, a coyote, mountain lion. But when they shoot this varmint, each one of these kids are going to go pick up what they shoot and look and see what happens to an animal, to a life, when you shoot it, so they can have a better understanding. At this point, all they know is you reset it, it comes back to life. Well, they're going to have a harsh reality. And in those first weeks, their little butts are going to get saddle sores. They're going to ride horses every day for 5, 6, 7 days. At the second week of them being there, they're going to mount these horses and they're going to drive 50 or 60 head of cattle 100 miles, right at 100 miles. They're going to do something that hasn't been done in years. But at the end of this cattle drive, the last day of the drive, when they're driving these cattle into the sale barn, I've reached out to Matthew McConaughey and Robert Duvall. They're going to dress up, and they're on the last leg of this cattle drive, they're going to ride in with these kids. And we're calling this Cowboys, Kids, and Guns. It's going to make the liberals go crazy with all these guns, but that's okay. when these kids get to the sale barn, they're going to sit there, they're going to watch, after they've slept 4 or 5 days out on the ground, haven't showered, they're going to do it like they did in the Old West. When these cattle go through the sale barn, the money that's made by these cattle being sold is going to be divided amongst these 12 kids. And I'm hoping somewhere in the neighborhood of $2,000, each one of these kids gets to take a paycheck home for their 2 weeks worth of hard work. That pamphlet's back there. If you guys can reach out to us. As this continues, I want to reach out throughout the country, kind of reach out to some of your kids, some of your officers if they've been injured. By all means, we'd like to welcome them out there. Thank you, guys.